Hi Fuzzbutts, I'm Silverpaw, and today I'm bringing you Chapter 4 of Detention. Now before I get started, I just want to remind you guys that if you liked the video, please leave a like, because all likes really help out the channel and let it get seen by other people. Anyways, let's get started. He's just in there. Good luck trying to get him to wake up though, he sleeps like a rock. Not really a morning person if you know what I mean. Roxas wanted to kill Sora for talking so loudly. He squinted at his alarm clock. 5:30 in the morning? What the hell? Why was he awake at 5:30 in the morning, and who was Sora talking to? Section was curled up against his chest, still sleeping soundly, his breast tickling Roxas' neck just slightly. Thanks, kid. The door opened and a cheerful voice said, Hey, Roxy. I was wondering if you might... this is a little awkward. Roxas blinked twice before sitting up. The blankets pulled around his waist and Section shifted to try to warm himself up from the sudden loss of heat. The brilliant red in front of him made him wince for a moment before he associated the color, the voice, and the nickname. Axel? He grumbled, What the hell are you doing here at 5:30 in the morning? Well, I was going to offer to take you to breakfast before school, but I don't know if your boyfriend would be too happy about that. Roxas was confused. What the hell was he on about? Breakfast? Boyfriend? His mind slowly comprehended what he was saying, and he suddenly understood. Boyfriend? Oh, you mean Section? No, he's not my boyfriend. He's my best friend. Platonic relationship. Axel quirked an eyebrow. That didn't look too platonic to me, Roxy. Roxas let out an exasperated sigh. Look, Section's my friend, that's all. We sleep in the same bed because, in case you hadn't noticed, there's not much room in this house. We sleep so close because, again, in case you hadn't noticed, it's fucking freezing and body heat keeps you warm. Axel nodded slowly. Yeah, alright. So, what say you? Wanna come to breakfast with me? You mean, like a date, or just a friendly 5 in the fucking morning breakfast? Roxas asked tiredly. Interpret it as you will, Roxy. I'm considering it a date. Axel said with a grin. He rolled his eyes and sighed. Yeah, alright, fine. Give me 10 minutes to get ready, okay? Axel nodded and left the room, leaving Roxas to have a mini freakout section. Zex! He shook his slumbering friend. Section, wake up! Section cracked his eyes open, looking up at Roxas in annoyance. What is it, Roxas? Oh god, Zex. Axel's here! Like, in my house, offering to take me to breakfast. Congratulations, Section yawned, bunching Roxas' pillow under his head and closing his eyes. Zex, what do I do? Roxas hissed. Get dressed, brush your teeth and hair, write Leon a note, and go on your early-ass date. I'll take care of the kids, he muttered sleepily. I love you, Section, he muttered. Really, I do. Thanks. He jumped out of bed, incredibly grateful that he decided to shower the night before, instead of waiting for the morning. Looking through the closet he shared with Sora, he finally found a pair of jeans and a white t-shirt he found fitting. He considered pulling on his hoodie, but it was so threadbare that it didn't do much to keep him warm anyway. He rushed into the bathroom, brushing his teeth with one hand and straightening out his hair with the other. He grabbed his bags and cigarettes from his room and made his way towards the living room where Axel was leaning against the front door, waiting for him patiently. Ready, Roxy? Something wasn't right. There was an alarm going off and snoring. Leon! Roxas looked over the couch, dismayed to see his brother sleeping soundly, straight through his alarm clock. He grabbed the brunette's shoulders and gave him a shake. What's happening? He muttered. Leon, get up! You slept half an hour past your alarm. Roxas hissed, trying to wake up his brother. Leon took a moment to comprehend this before sitting up straight, almost colliding with Roxas as he did so. Shit! He growled, jumping out of bed. Shit! Thanks, Roxas. He spotted Axel and frowned. Who the hell are you? No, don't answer that. Never mind, I don't have time. Now, are you ready? Axel asked with an amused smile. Roxas nodded and followed the redhead, who was already out the door and heading towards his truck. As soon as they were in the truck pulling away, Roxas grabbed a cigarette and placed it between his lips, before checking his pockets for a lighter, only to find that he'd forgotten in his room. Damn it. Need a light? Axel asked. When Roxas nodded, he held out his hands toward the blonde and snapped his fingers. Roxas was amazed as the flame built up on Axel's thumb. What? How the hell did you do that? He asked, reaching out to touch it. Axel snapped his hand away. Don't touch it, stupid. It's fire. How the hell did you do that? Roxas asked again. Axel looked at him and shrugged. I'm pyrokinetic. I've always been able to do it. My dad thinks I'm a freak, but my friends are pretty damn impressed by it. Now, do you want a light or not? Yeah, sorry, I'm just not used to people who can create fire in their fucking hands. Not just on my hands, Axel said simply, lighting his thumb up again. I can light my whole body up, but it's actually kind of unpleasant, so I decided to channel it through my hands. Right, Roxas said, a little weirded out as he lit a cigarette on Axel's flame. And, Axel announced, since I was nice enough to light your cigarette and share my little secret with you, you're gonna share your cigarette with me. Roxas took a drag, shrugged, and passed it to the redhead, who grinned. Gotta love the Jedi mind trick. Works every time. You're extremely strange. Did anyone ever tell you that? He asked with a slight frown as Axel took a drag as well. I get it all the time. Between my fire, my unique yet dashingly good looks, and my personality, I'm quite the strange enigma around these parts. Not to mention being a morning person, making out with random guys in detention, then proceeding to take said random guy on a date at 5 in the fucking morning. Axel supplied with a flourish. I can take you home if you're gonna whine about it. Roxas felt a slight wave of panic. He didn't want Axel to take him home, even if they were awake before God. He also didn't want Axel to know that he wanted to be around him, so he just shrugged. Well, I'm already awake. Might as well get some food that I don't have to cook out of it, he said as nonchalantly as he could manage, staring at the front windshield. Still out of the corner of his eye, he could see Axel grinning. You know, I just don't get it, he finally huffed, looking at the redhead in exasperation. How can you be so comfortable with all of this? I mean, we just met yesterday, and you just figured out you were gay yesterday. How can you be sitting here nonchalantly flirting with me as if it's nothing? He demanded. Axel shrugged, flicking his gaze over to Roxas for a long moment and handing the cigarette back. I don't know, I guess I'm just comfortable with who I am. I don't see the point in hiding it or acting differently just because of something so small. I don't define people by sexual preference or anything like that, so why should I do it for myself? Roxas had never thought of it that way. There wasn't really much to be said about his being gay. It was just part of a bigger picture. So why had he been classified even by himself as the gay kid? Axel could be an interesting brain to pick. He made good points that really made Roxas rethink things that he knew. Axel pulled into the parking lot of a small diner outside of the Ghettoville border. It was a small family-owned business called Jane's, and it had a quaint and homey feel to it. As Axel got out of the car, Roxas quickly reached into his bag and pulled out his wallet. There was only a crumpled dollar bill in there. He'd spent most of his last paycheck on the rent and cigarettes, but he hadn't known he was out of money. He shoved the wallet in his back pocket and got out of the car. Axel cast him a strange glance, but didn't ask any questions, which Roxas was grateful for. A bell jingled as they entered, and Roxas liked the place immediately. There was a long bar along one wall with stools placed at intervals down the length. 2 old men sat there, about 3 stools apart, both sipping coffee. One reading a newspaper, and the other chewing his waffles thoughtfully. There were about 7 other tables spread across the rest of the room, all small, wood, and scrubbed clean. Knickknacks rested on the windowsills and on shelves against the walls. It sort of felt like visiting a grandparent's house. Axel headed to the bar and Roxas followed, taking a seat next to the redhead at the very end of the bar. A woman who had to be about 50 years old approached them, two with menus. Axel, honey, it's been a while since I've seen you. I thought you'd forgotten about me. She greeted him with a large grin. How could I ever forget about you, Jane? Axel grinned. Such a pretty lady could never slip my mind. Roxas fought the urge to roll his eyes. Axel, it appeared, was a shameless flirt. It didn't help that he was extremely charismatic. He could probably get anyone to do exactly what he wanted with hardly any effort at all. Jane giggled, more of a hoarse laugh, and patted Axel's hand. You're such a charmer. What can I get you to drink? Axel ordered orange juice, and Roxas ordered black coffee. Ew. Black? Axel demanded, looking incredulous. How can you drink it like that? Roxas shrugged. I like my coffee strong. he muttered defensively. Axel shrugged and shot him a look that clearly said he was insane before studying his menu. Roxas opened his for a show, scanning the menu but not really paying attention. I'm thinking I want French toast, Axel declared, snapping his menu shut. What about you, Roxy? Roxas shrugged, studying his menu to avoid looking at Axel. I'll just have my coffee, he said, hoping Axel would accept that answer. Of course he didn't. That would just have been too easy. What? No, come on. I know you're hungry. The food here is great. Just forget it. Roxas hissed, his cheeks burning. No, you have to get something to eat. You'll starve at school if you don't. What is it? Are you a picky eater or something? I can't afford anything else. Roxas snapped angrily, training his eyes on the chip in the Formica countertop. God, why did he have to push it? Why couldn't he have just accepted that Roxas didn't want anything else? Oh, hey, it's no big deal. I'll pay, he said, asking if that solved the problem. I don't want charity, Roxas muttered, staring at the chip as if he could make it bigger with just the power of his mind. It's not charity, Axel insisted with a laugh. I asked you out. It's the right that I should pay. Please, Roxas. The blonde let out a sigh as he folded. Okay, fine. Pay, he muttered, inexplicably feeling as if he had lost some sort of battle. Maybe it was just his battle with his pride. Jane set their respective drinks down in front of them with another smile. All right, boys, what can I get you? She asked. Axel ordered his French toast, and Roxas ordered the first thing he saw, which turned out to be blueberry pancakes. Of course, Axel was right. The food was absolutely delicious. Jane was a nice woman too, and funny. As they ate, the blonde forgot his earlier wounded pride. That is, until Axel pulled out his wallet and set the money on the counter. With mixed feelings, Roxas followed the redhead out the door to his truck, trying to mentally prepare himself for school. The day could go any number of ways, Roxas realized, and it all depended on Axel.